My name is James Williams Jr. Welcome to Kung Fu Habit number 2. This is another one of my Marvel knowledge enlightenment videos. As I said, I've been talking a lot about Guardians of the Galaxy because I've seen the trailer for the new Guardians of the Galaxy, and no, I don't have permission from YouTube or Marvel to show it to you. So you're going to have to suck eggs on that one. But anyway, I point out a whole lot of stuff about Vance Astro. So now let me give you guys a summary slight thing. I haven't had a chance to actually read Death of X, and I have the first and second installments. So as soon as I read them, I will give you guys an update and my personal opinion on that. Now, one, I do have a personal opinion that I would like to share right now because I am a Marvel fan. However, I don't want the Inhumans to win. I don't. I don't think that they vastly outnumber the X-Men, but as far as fighting skills, they can't top the X-Men, man. Not really. Let me rephrase that. Before 2008, there were a lot of people who could give the X-Men a run for their money, and pretty much has given them a run for their money, like the Shi'ar Empire and maybe a few Skrulls here or there, or maybe the Brood, or some people that have bumped into them, and they wind up either joining forces or they wind up either kicking each other's ass, and like Gladiator versus Colossus and all that. I don't think what Marvel is doing with the X-Men is a particular fun thing. However, as an X-Men fan, and I never really dove too deep into the Inhumans because the only person I really liked was the leader. I didn't really care too much about the rest of the Inhumans, and I'm sorry. It's not a thing against Marvel. It's just my personal opinion. It's kind of like the women that you date. Everybody has a preference. I prefer Asian women or Native American women. I don't really prefer black women. I would not push them out of bed. I wouldn't push white women out of bed. But if I have to marry and procreate, then the woman has to at least be Asian or Native American, which is basically the same thing. Alright, enough said there. Now, the thing you guys don't understand, when it comes down to comic books and everything, and we have some of us who've greatly invested in them, and I'm going to tell you, first let me thank Marvel. Even though I'll probably never be on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or never get a job or never get my own Netflix show as a mutant, I would prefer to actually play American Eagle or somebody with Native American ancestry, not Danny Moonstar, unless you give me a whole lot of money. Because you know you're going to have to put me in a bra and give me some kind of face cream so that I don't have 5 o'clock shadow. But anyway. Or Forge. I could do Forge. I would love to do Forge. I don't really want to be an amputee, but hey, it is what it is. Anyway. Or you can just make me a mutant that's a Native American and give me a new name. Anyway. Or reamp a hero. So, as I was saying, I never really dug too deep into the Inhumans. And in fact, I really only know 2 of them, really. You know, I know Black Bolt and I know Lockjaw. As far as I'm concerned, Lockjaw and Black Bolt are the coolest too. I'm really not fond of dogs, but Lockjaw is a dog I wouldn't mind having because everybody else's dog is not like 6 feet tall and 275 pounds of nothing but pure doggy muscle. The dog comes up to the waist of the hawk, alright? So it's way bigger than me. And that's on all 4. So imagine how tall that son bitch is if he's standing on his hind legs. The bad part is the Lockjaw doesn't really talk. You know what I'm saying? Not like the dog in Guardians of the Galaxy with the telekinesis thing. Alright, moving on. Black Bolt, if he does talk, he can destroy a planet. So, don't want that as a power because you'd spend most of your day quiet just because you don't want to destroy anything. And what would happen if you actually pass gas? You can't excuse yourself because you can't talk. You might whisper and like blow up the fucking moon or something, so we don't want to do that. So yeah, the Inhumans have some ridiculous ass powers. But as far as I am concerned, I would much rather be a mutant than an Inhuman. And though technically Inhumans could be considered as mutants, it just depends on where your classification of mutant gene begins and ends. Because technically Inhumans are human. They're just not. Technically mutants are humans. They're just not. Let me put it to you the way it was said in the original comics, Days of Future Past. Master Mole had taken over the world. And in doing so, he created Sentinels. And the Sentinels started making Xavier's dream become more of a reality, where humans and mutants had to live together in peace. Now, here's how Master Mole explained itself. before he created Nimrod. Before Nimrod had to go back in time to do certain stuff so that he can still exist, to make sure his existence existed, he had to make sure that certain things didn't take place. Also, that probably is what led up to Bishop and all these other guys coming in, because Nimrod was the ultimate hunter in the Bible, and Nimrod was the ultimate hunter in the mutant universe of the X-Men in 616. So, the long and short is, Master Mole decided that all humans must die, because all humans have the potential of becoming mutants. So, in his robotic logic, that is correct. Now, I don't really understand the difference between humans and inhumans, and mutants and inhumans, but they all have a genetic flaw that gives them special gifts. So, like it or not, if you're an inhuman, you're still technically a mutant. If you're a mutant, you're technically an inhuman, and you weren't born with your powers like normal mutants were. The scientists from the Inhumans kind of made that shit happen. Now, most of the natural-born Inhumans who were born on their little Atlantis-type scope of life or whatever, they were born like mutants with the Inhuman gene to gain their gifts. Don't ask Google this shit, because I'm pretty sure I'm probably off somewhere. But, find Marvel facts. That's the best I can tell you. For the most part, I think there may be anywhere between 35 and 40 Inhumans. I know for a fact that once an X-Man, always an X-Man. So I know that there's at least 50 to 75 X-Men. Give or take a few, because some guys have joined the MLF, some guys joined Magneto, then eventually some of them came back, some were with Generation X, some of them with Excalibur, some with X-Force, X-Factor, and there was another one, but I can't remember what it was. But anyway, all the X titles, each team has had at least 10, and there have been at least 7 X titles. And I could be wrong there, because it started with In-County X-Men, and then they had X-Men. They had X-Factor first, then they had New Mutants. And New Mutants would be morphed into X-Force. And then they had the New Mutants, then they had Generation X, and they had Excalibur. So that's about 7 titles. And you have about 15 men and women for each title. In fact, the Uncanny X-Men and X-Men had to cross over so many times because there were 3 teams. There was a blue team and there was a gold team, and I think there was like a red team, but there was another team. And then the team of X-Force would jump in between each guy and whatever, and then they would leave and they would come back, and they would either decide they were going to go with Xavier or they were going to go with Cable. So either way you slice it, there were a lot of members of the X-Men, where the Inhumans all just tended to corral together in that one little island rocket ship thingy. And I don't know why they left the planet, but they left the planet, and I don't think that it would be fair for Marvel to give us the finger and make the X-Men leave the planet. But I'd rather them leave the planet and be alive than lose the battle and die. Because apparently the Tenogen Mist kills mutants. I don't understand how that works if the Inhumans technically are mutants, but I don't write the comic. I'm just going to read this chapter, and when I get done reading all 4 of them, I will let you guys know how my opinion varies on that. I'm James Winchester. You just come for happy number 2. Be seeing you. And Marvel, if you're watching, I would love to have a show. Or I would love to be on a Netflix show. Or I would love to be on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. even just one time. Yeah, you guys can kill me off. It's all good. Just remember to have a doctor on set because I have a hip replacement and need another hip replacement. I'm James Winchester. You just come for number 2. Be seeing